Oh, welcome all to another episode of the Unapologetic Entrepreneur. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, before I begin, just know that you can scan right here or scan all the way over there in the other corner. Scan, like, share, and subscribe to get more content like the one you're receiving today. But let's begin. Let me begin. See, today's episode is going to take an interesting twist. See, there's a side of entrepreneurship that social media almost never shows you. Everybody sees the ribbon cuttings of offices, the celebrating. Everybody sees the congratulations, the logos, the sales, the awards. What nobody sees is what's happening underneath the hood, or better yet said, behind the business. The bills, the payroll, the difficult customers, the late nights, the employee problems, the disagreements, and the stretching that one must do. No one sees that. No one honestly knows how pure it is. They don't know what is going out, and they don't even know how it feels when they're an entrepreneur, how the entrepreneur feels when they don't even know if it's going to work out. And when you're building that business with your spouse, now it's not just business anymore. That follows you home. Today, I'm talking to a woman who has seen entrepreneurship from both sides. She's helped build, operate an HVAC business alongside her husband through everything cool. And then she made another decision. She stepped into financial services and started building Serenity Financial Solutions. Wow, you got to think about this. Someone that's been through entrepreneurship, the hard, the easy, she's really already made six figures, raised her family, now wants to go and do it all over again. That's the part that got me thinking. Why would somebody who already knows exactly how hard entrepreneurship is voluntarily sign up to do it all over again? That's what we're going to get into today. Marriage, money, women in business, ego, pressure, and what happens when the person who spent years working behind the scenes finally decides it's her turn to build something too. Welcome to another episode of the Unapologetic Entrepreneur. Oh my God, you're in for a treat. As I said before, today we're going to be talking behind every successful business. There's a story nobody sees, and my special guest is going to be none other than Miss Carla Powell. I hope you guys are ready. She's going to be in the hot seat. You already know the rules. All of you out there that are viewing and watching, feel free to participate in the conversation. I have you on my trusty phone. I will be popping up your questions. Say hello. Let us know you're watching, because today is going to be impactful. Today, we are welcoming Miss Carla Powell. So, Carla, hello. How you doing?
Hi, Leo. Thank you so much for inviting me onto your podcast. I always wanted to be on this podcast, and you finally invited me. So I feel so privileged to be here today. Thank you so much.
You know what, Carla? Knowing you, hey guys, all of you that are behind the scene, let me say hi, hi, Limitless. Hi, what's going on? Let me see who's out here first. Hey, Ashwin, what's going on? Hey, Cherry. Hey, what's going on, Lim? We're just talking behind the scenes, and since I'm transparent, I'm going to bring it to the front scene. See, Carla was not aware. She thought I just sat here, made up a script on Chat GBT, and spit it out, but she didn't realize I actually do research. See, Carla has never discussed me, and yes, she's a friend of mine, as all the people that come on the show are. We become friends, but Carla has never mentioned to me the things I knew. See, Carla didn't know that she wasn't a person working behind the scene in her business. She found out that I found out today that she was the vice president of her business. That's right. She had a position, a real position. Here I am thinking she was just some type of secretary pushing paperwork. Oh no, I let her know that I know the truth. And today I think I put a little fear in her heart. That's why you see her heart beating. She doesn't know what I'm about to ask. All right, so let's get right to it, Carla. Let's jump in and make sure that everything's cool. First of all, let everybody know who you are and what you do prior to what you're doing now. Let us know a little something before we get into it.
Well, guys, hi everybody out there. My name is Carla Powell. Before I came into the financial industry, my husband and I, we own an HVAC company. We've had it for the past 20 years, and it has sustained us and raised our four children, on that. So it's been very successful for us, and we're very proud of our company.
She said four children. What company is this? What company is this?
The name, it's everything, everything cool. Air
Everything
conditioning.
cool. All right, there you go, guys. HVAC company, everything cool in dare I say the state? Is it okay?
Sure.
In Florida. There you go.
Florida.
I don't know how you feel about putting it all out there, but let's get into it. I mean, people, don't forget, all of you can ask questions. We're talking to an entrepreneur that has done a lot with business. This is not a mom and pop shop. Raised four children, owns her own home. Hey, she was able to homeschool. Another thing I didn't know, right, Carla? Homeschool
True, true.
her child. So get ready. Get your questions ready because this could lead to some different tips. Because now she's starting a second venture. See, before, as she said, before financial services, she ran an entrepreneurship. So I'm curious, why do it again? But more importantly, you know what? You're going to see your questions right below, Carla. So you're going to be able to answer them and read them and take your time with it.
Okay.
Here's my first question to you. What do you do behind the scenes at Everything Cool that your customers never see?
What's that accent? What's that accent?
Everything cool.
All right, all right, all right, all right. So what I do, I am the inside person. What I do is I handle all of the anytime my husband needs if he needs a proposal done, if he needs for me to speak with one of our clients, if he needs for me to take any payments, anything pertaining to the inside work, anything pertaining to that, he's the person that does the labor. I'm the other side of that. So, it's hard work. It's hard work. I mean, you know, pushing paper is hard work, but that's what we do. That's what I do.
Okay. So has there ever been a season where everything looks successful from the outside, but behind closed doors, you were sitting there thinking, I don't know how we're going to pull this one off.
Yes, there are times, guys, not every season is a prosperous one. And so, yes, we've had our share of, thinking, man, is this something that would sustain us? Do we need to do something else? Because I really was a stay-at-home mom. uh, I worked for a little bit, but for after that, after I believe one time I wasn't feeling well and I stayed home for about, I think it was about 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And my husband said, well, your whole paycheck goes to daycare and babysitters. So, stay home. So that's why I decided to stay home. But yeah, when we started the business, it was, we were scared to start the business. We were two young people, first time in, becoming entrepreneurs, didn't know what it entailed. All I knew was my husband had the skills and I had the know-how as well. And we put that together and we formed this company that's been with us for the last 20 years. So yes, there were times that there were ups and downs, but we came through it.
That's interesting. You say you've been in business already 20 years.
Mhm.
You know, I don't know how many viewers out there watching that are married. They work in business together. But I have this question because I have the pleasure of knowing you, and your temperament is great. You seem to always be jolly, but I don't know if that's really 24/7. So how do you and your husband disagree about business at 2 p.m. because
Mhm.
maybe you forgot? I don't know if you did. You probably never have, but something occurred and you had an argument. How do you still happen to be husband and wife when you get home at night?
Hmm.
What's the complexity there? Tell
That,
us about that.
that's a great question. That's a very, very good question, Leo. I would say for us, it's one thing we do. We address the issue. Okay. When anything arises, we first address the issue. We we don't we don't uh, we don't attack each other's character. We touch upon the issue. We try to resolve it. There's that word we buried right in CEO life, that word try. We resolve it based on understanding, listening to each other. We don't listen to prepare a comeback when we are in the midst of having an argument. I mean, it took years. This is not something that it just one day, oh, let's do this. It took us back and forth to get to this point that we can actually, at the end of the day, just before we go to bed, we know we love each other. And even if we don't resolve the issue before we go to bed, which we really try to do, is that word again, the next day we come back and we resolve it. We never let it go for more than a day.
So you don't let it fester. And
No.
didn't you just celebrate your anniversary recently?
Yes.
Oh, more research. When was your anniversary?
July 4th.
Oh, happy way after anniversary, but 4th of July,
Yes.
fireworks. All right, got it. Yeah, look at her. Okay, okay. Man,
Yes. When the country was getting independent, we were hitching together.
you're really showing your age talking about hitching that
Uh,
language. All right. Hey guys, don't forget you can get into the conversation. I got another question for you.
sure.
You already told us about how you could manage, you manage to keep communication. So I'm assuming communication is very important, correct?
Very, very important. Yes.
Okay, so you're very direct. Is this something that carries on in your business? Like, the way you are at home, is it true? Does the statement how you do one thing is how you do everything really work with your relationship when it comes to communication?
For the most part, yes. For the most part, I would say. Mhm.
Now, here's my real question. What in God's green earth, after all that uncertainty that you faced, that you raised your children on this company that you and your husband are running, making six figures, putting them through school, taking care of college, buying cars because they're all of that age to buy cars, have your own car, pay car insurance. There's so much I can say about what you've done with this business, how it's helped your family. What
Mhm.
in God's green earth would have possessed you to get back in entrepreneurship and start all over again with something that you just learned or learning about? Please explain what thought process goes through your head with that?
That's a great, great question, Leo. I told you I was a stay-at-home mom, and I homeschooled our last child, who at the time she no, she did not have special needs. So I have my set of twins who with the firstborn. They had special needs. And during the summertime, I would definitely school them so they won't forget when they go into the next school year. So I decided to homeschool our last daughter. And at some point, she wanted to go to school. She did not want to be home anymore. She wanted to be like all her friends out there going to school. And I really didn't want that, but she prevailed. So I put her in school, and I had all this free time. And I was, thinking, what am I going to do with all this free time? So I kept researching. You go online, you see all of these home jobs, and none of them were anything that I wanted to do. And after it took me a few years before I found this industry, and I'm so happy I found it.
Mm. Oh, you see, Mr. Mark Tiroli is saying, see some hardware behind her. That A in ETA. Oh, he's letting you know he's watching. Oh, and we have our first question from the audience. This comes from Taurus Williams.
Okay.
What big goal are you, here's that word, trying to achieve this year?
What goal?
What big goal? Not goal. What big goal?
What's the big goal
this year?
The big goal. Well, my sights are set on SCD, senior executive director. But before I get there, I have to get to executive director. So that is what I would say my big goal is. I'm pursuing it because I am ready for a greater level of responsibility, and I'm ready for it. And I believe that I can do it. I want to develop people. I want to build production, production team.
Wait. You said senior executive director. See, we have a lot of people that don't know what that means. So you're getting into what that means. So explain to us, what is a senior executive director? What is it what's the big deal about that title? Because I don't know, if I'm a janitor, I don't know what you're talking about. What is that?
That's the title. That's one of the titles that Xperia has, CEO Life. That's one of the titles that we have. Senior Executive Director is above the Executive Director that I am achieving. I will achieve. I want to remain consistent. I want to finish what I started. You know what? It's not only about reaching a title for me. Okay. It's about becoming that kind of leader who helps other people recognize their potential and create something meaningful for their families. That's what it means to me.
Oh. I finished my push-ups, changed the wording. I'm glad that came out. And they're coming back. Oh, we have another one. This is from Asia Gardner. What advice would you give a woman attempting to transition from a stay-at-home mom to an entrepreneur, or going back into the work environment?
It's a transition. When you're a stay-at-home mom, your routine is very different. And thinking about going back into the workforce, you have to look at you really have to look at what you're going to do, what are your goals. Of course, the position you're looking to implement, the position that you're looking to step into. I would say just research what you want to do. Just make sure your goals align with what you want to do, of course. And just make sure, if you have young kids, that you have your kids, everything is set in place for them, so that when you do go back into the workforce, they don't suffer. That's what I would say. A stay-at-home mom going back into the workforce.
Okay, there you have it. Okay, they're going to keep coming with the questions. I hope you're ready. Let me ask you mine, though. I got some good ones. Here's something. With all those years in HVAC, all those things you've learned, because we pick up habits as to the way we do things, the way we operate. Some people do the whole meditation. We got routines built into what we do. I'm curious to know, what did you have to unlearn when you enter the financial industry or financial services?
What did I have to unlearn? Wow, that's a good question. I have to think about that, Mr. Leo. I have to really, I have to think about that one. What
You
did I
guys
have
know
to,
number four. She's gonna have to think about it.
what do I have to, what did I have to unlearn? Um, I've always been independent in the sense that, being a stay-at-home mom. Yes, I raised the kids and everything while my husband worked, but I, being home for so long with them, I felt that I was not alone in the sense that I didn't have support. I had tremendous support from my husband, but coming into the workforce and having to step into a team and having to be a team player, I've always been, but it was new to me again, having to step into a role that, I had to share who I am with others. I don't know if that makes sense, but
So being your true self is something you had to unlearn how to keep yourself
yes.
and secluded with your family, where people only got to know you within the inside. So being
Hmm.
out there, being more present,
More
more
present.
uh,
Absolutely.
being seen.
Being seen. Yes. Being seen.
You got a long one here. Uh-oh. Before, from Mr. Mark Tarolia,
Okay.
before you ever entered this industry, entrepreneurship had already taught you lessons about leadership, discipline, money, people, and adversity. Which of those lessons gave you the biggest head start? And what do
Mm.
you think first time entrepreneurs, I think wait, it goes longer. First time entrepreneurs usually have to learn the hard way. So being with all the lessons you've been taught through, when you were doing the 20 years you've been doing of everything cool, right? You've learned about leadership, discipline, learned about money. I mean, I seen you fly first class. People, learning about adversity. What lessons gave you a head start as opposed to someone that's just getting into entrepreneurship um, and has to learn it the hard way?
What lessons I had to learn the hard way?
What's one lesson you learned due to
Uh-huh.
your experience that someone new would have to learn the hard way?
Hmm. Um, I believe money,
I,
right?
I was thinking the same thing. It would have to be money, but tell me what you think about
Yeah, it's money. I mean, I say it all the time. And I can say for myself, I don't know for everybody out there, but folks, none of us thought it was taught about how to grow money, how to invest money, how money can help you as not just as an individual, but your family. And I would say that one, yeah, that one would be the biggest one that I had to, yeah, I would
I,
say.
I I got a follow-up question with that. When you say money, are you talking about spending it? Because I could imagine as an entrepreneur, your money is not like someone who's 9 to 5 that already knows exactly what they're making. You can go.
Yeah.
So are you talking about money management, spending it, investing it? What lesson about money do you know getting
Well,
into this financial field? Because now
mhm.
you're doing a whole different entrepreneurship. There's someone like, I don't know, Mary Jane that's just coming in and just does $10,000 and now has that money in the bank. What's the difference between that person making 10,000 and you making 10,000?
I learned money management along the way. I am the person, my husband makes the money and I manage it. I've always managed it. And managing, you have to, I mean, in our industry, in the HVAC industry, if you don't know, we consider it seasonal because right now it's summer. This is when it's booming. And then when summer's over, now it's winter, especially for the people in the north. But in Florida, it's still warm, but the but the industry slows down a little bit. So you have to know how to manage your money because if we make it in the summer, but we have to have it sustain us through the slow months. And that's how I learned how to manage money.
Oh, so that's a head start. And Coach Mr. Mark Tarolia, stay on my notes because my next question was going to be, did running a business teach you something about money that made financial services matter even more?
You know what the biggest lesson for me is that, not you don't always make money overnight. That was the biggest lesson for me. Mon, you have to learn how to grow money. Like I said, I didn't learn how to grow money. I didn't know how to manage it. I learned as our business started to thrive. That's how I learned. And so in this industry, I would say that that's something that I learned, that money doesn't always come to you as easily as you would like it to.
Mm. People are really loving your money talk right now, and they're just coming in from the background. I'm glad you're not on your phone the way some of the guests are. They're on their phone to see what's
Uh,
going on the page, because these are questions that are just coming random at you. And we got one from Cherry
Jerry.
Ortega. What's more important, making money or managing it? That's a good one, Cherry.
Oh yeah, Cherry. That's a really, really good question. I mean, what's more important? I would say both is important, because when you make money, I mean, obviously you'd have to learn how to manage it in order for you not to lose it, right? You don't want to put it in places that you can lose it so quickly. So making money, I mean, making money, like I said just now, when it's not always easy to make it. I mean, and some people make it easily and some people don't. And for the people who's made it easily, sometimes it goes through their fingers and they don't even know what happened. So I would say both. I can't really definitively say one over the other.
Well, Carla, the hits just keep on coming. Let me tell you, you're picking both right now. I heard you got to pick a side, but we're going to let you get away with that one for that one. But I got a question from the crowd right now,
Okay.
and it's going to require you to really be honest with us all. And this is being documented.
Okay.
You got to be true to yourself when you answer this question. Are you
All right.
ready for it, Carla?
I'm ready. I'm
You told
always
me you
ready. I was
always ready.
born ready.
All right, you're born ready. Asia asked you, she dared ask, money, networking, or knowledge? Which one is your number one and why?
Oh, Asia. Um, hmm. I would say money. And why? Why money? Money is important, guys. I mean, networking and knowledge. Knowledge is important too now. But I would say money. I would say money.
But tell us why. You got to give us why. We got to elaborate, because hopefully, you know what? When people watch this playback and they see this question and they see it in the comments, they might come with some hot fire and tell you that they think they disagree with you. So you got to be able to stand
Okay.
10 toes down on your conviction of saying money.
So 10 toes down. You know why I said money? Money gets you in the rooms that you need to be in order to get to that next level you want to get to. If you don't have the money to get into those rooms, right, you will not be able to get the knowledge that you need, okay, in order to make more money. So I say money.
Well, I'm glad you said that. And I'm going to go back to this conversation in the chat and I will give you my answer on that. That's a great, I love it that you stood 10 toes down. That's right. Just stand 10 toes. Stay strong. Pick one. We want to know about Carla, not what everybody else thinks. Oh, we got another question for you. They just keep them coming. Wait. Not that's not the one. Oh, a Limnish. What does managing money look like? There's a lot of misconceptions that people make high income money but mismanage it. Hmm. What does that look like?
Well, I mean, I I don't know what it looks like as far as mismanaged, because I don't mismanage my money. I'm just putting it out there. So I don't know what mismanaging my money, but I do know that there are people who have, who acquire money and they don't put it in the places that will help it grow. Right. So, in our industry, we do have the IUL, we do have the annuity, we have a whole lot of different products that we can put our money in to grow it. So that's what I would say about that. Are there misconceptions? There might be, but not everybody knows how to manage money, and that's unfortunate.
So basically, you're telling people to put your money to work for you as opposed to just leaving it in the bank or underneath the mattress or behind the wall.
Absolutely.
Mm. And is that Carla the financial the financial what's the word? Is that financial advice from Carla, or is that the everything cool Carla? Was it always like that for you? Did you always know, or is that something you learned while being in this industry? I'm curious to know. I'm really curious.
Yeah. Well, I learned along the way. I always knew we had to put money away for the future. And before I even got into life insurance, I myself was looking for life insurance, and I didn't know where to go. I didn't know who to call. We didn't know any person to help us. And you know how I found life insurance? I saw a commercial on TV years ago, and I called the number, and that's how I got my very first life insurance policy.
So you always knew that it was important to do
I always knew,
something.
yes, to
Okay.
save.
Okay.
Yes. Hmm.
Okay, okay, okay. All right. There you have. Oh man, we got a whole conversation that's going against you. We got August that says it's network. Okay.
Okay, August.
Then we got knowledge from Mr. Kira Sullivan, and then
Hmm.
we got a double down saying knowledge is power. But I'll double down on that one and say only if applied. But anyway, how do you? Oh wait, wait. Oh, is this? Uh-oh. Alem is just getting into her real questioning self. How do you manage your money? Can you give examples without airing all your business? This is about airing your business. How do you manage your money? That's right. Just to ask her. Don't be scared.
I
Carla, how do you
mean,
manage your money?
okay, this is what I do on a monthly basis. Okay, you guys might be like, "What?" But this is how I do it. Since I'm the one in my family that handles the money and pays all the bills. Each month, the beginning of the month, I look at the bills that I need to pay, and I pay everything for the whole month. So I don't have to worry about anything every other day. My thoughts are clear that I've paid the bills for the month, so I'm not worrying about what's coming up on the 15th, what's coming up on the 21st, or that's how I do it. And I pay all of our insurances, I pay it all in full. I don't have all of our car insurance. I pay it 6 months worth. That's it. Our liability for our business, I pay the entire year. There's certain bills I pay it all for the entire year or 6 months. I don't like monthly bills. So that way I cut down on the monthly. So that's how I pay our bills. And it's worked for the last couple of years I've been doing it.
So she takes care of the mundane, the monthly. Got it. Okay. See, there's a method. You know what? They should call you if they need help with that. Don't you do that as part of your services? Look at that. Something else that just opened up. Look at that. I got a question for you now. Let's say men, women, same room, same credentials. Does a woman still have to prove herself faster?
I think still, yes. In a world that some men are superior in their industry. Yes, I do believe women have to. They do have to prove themselves by working 10 times harder in order to show not just the male, but even the female that they can do what the male is doing. Yes.
Okay, so you do feel that women are in disadvantage still in the
Yeah,
business.
I do. So for a certain extent, yes, I do.
All right. Well, there's a whole battle right now. You got Takira saying knowledge brings value. Then,
Mhm.
then now here we got Carla. I sent you an invoice.
Who said that? Cherry?
Yeah, that was Cherry. Then we got
Okay. No,
Limness.
no, I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it as soon as I get off.
How does someone how does someone able to build up to that? How can someone build up to the way you do that? Because I'm sure it wasn't always like that. It wasn't that you just paid the whole bill. How do you build up
Um,
to that?
yeah, I don't know. I would say that I always put a little aside. Even when things were tough when we first started, I always put a bit of money aside. And you'll be surprised how putting a little bit aside each time that your paycheck comes in, it accumulates. It's just like, it's just like a piggy bank when you're a kid, right? You put money in there, and then next thing you know, you have this whole thing full of coins. And that's how I started. Always put something aside, always put something aside. And it just got to the point where I just, who likes bills? Nobody likes bills. I don't like bills either. And I don't want to every day look at what's due today, what's due today, what's due today. And so as our income increased, I realized the best thing to do was to just pay everything off at the beginning of the month and not have to worry about, so that when something comes up unexpectedly, you're worrying, you're thinking about just that. That's the only thing that you're not thinking, well, you know what, I have the mortgage to pay. I can't, what am I going to do about this? And not everybody is in that space, and I understand it, but that's how I got to this point. As our income increased, I decided that, our how I look at money, it's much different now, and how I pay the bills, it's much different now. And I realize not everybody's can do that. I'm not just, and that's why, Alumnus, when you asked me that and you said without airing your business, that I'm just telling you my business right now. That's exactly how I do it.
I love it. I love it. Well, you started a whole debate here because now we got Coach saying, I'm with Carla. Definitely will get in the right proximity of network from buying access, and I'll gain knowledge from my network. So you got people battling still about your call here, what you're saying. Then you just so you know, Takira's laughing at Cherry because she sent you an invoice.
An invoice. I see it, Cherry. Thanks for reminding me, Cherry.
August says discount. Listen to me. Discipline and sacrifice and tight budgets. That's what he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. We got Miss TK Diamond. I hate balances, so I do my best to see zero balance, not past due. I feel you.
And guys, I can just say to you guys right now, we were never always where we are today. We didn't start that way. I can relate to a lot of folks out there that's having, financial difficulties. We were there. We were, my husband when we first started, got married, like anybody else, you have to catch your footing, make sure you know what you're doing. And there were times when he got paid and I got paid when I was working outside the home, on Friday and Monday, we broke because the bills had to be paid. But I've always been someone who never wanted to owe anyone or anything. And if I can just get rid of it as soon as I get it, then I would do that. That's how I've always been. Okay. So my husband lucked out. He got somebody that,
He did. He did. He's probably listening right now too. He's probably in the other room.
He's probably listening.
Here we go with number 7. Here's my question. Have you ever felt pressure to make this look easier than it was? Have you ever felt like you had pressure to make it look easy? Like fake it till you make it, be it till you see it, whatever the case may be, Did you ever feel like you had pressure on that?
You mean like what I just described?
On your whole entrepreneurship, do you feel like when you're down, do you still have to show like you're not?
I do believe in enthusiasm. I do believe in positivity. And there are times, yes, when, you're not always feeling it. If you want to say fake it, then it exudes how I feel and what I project. So I'm not a pessimistic person. When something is bothering me, I think about it and I calculate it, however I do it. But at the end of the day, I don't let negativity drive me. So I would say, whatever pressure I feel, I focus very, very hard on exuding the positive side of Carla.
There you go. Always positive. You got people chiming. They still debating this thing about those 3 questions. Asia,
okay.
Asia done started something. But here we go. Marvin Polo Miller ask, what's the hardest lesson you had to learn in this business? And how did it shape your approach moving forward?
Good question, Marvin.
Great
You know,
question.
I would say the hardest lesson I had to learn was that, or the greatest question I had to learn was growth requires consistency, not perfection. I I consider myself a perfectionist. Well, I would say I used to because everything had to be perfect. Everything had to be perfect. And I realized coming in this industry, it really requires consistency more than it does. There are days when I feel really confident, and there are days when I question myself. I still have to show up every day, right? No matter how I question myself. I have to still remain coachable, and I have to still keep it moving because I believe that confidence does not always come before the action. And sometimes, you take that action first and the confidence develops afterwards. So yeah, growth requires consistency, not perfection.
Marvin, she was not prepared today. I can't prepare her for those kind of questions. Oh,
Guys, Leo never told me what questions were coming. He told me he just wanted authentic. So everything that you're hearing, it wasn't prepared at all.
look at that. All right, we got one for you. All right. We got a little more comfortable for this. When did your ego cost you something in business?
That's a tough one. When? Hmm. I would say, in this business, right? And of course, we're talking about me, so I can only speak for me. In this business, ego can get ahead of us. Okay. And yes, I had times when my ego got ahead of me, but I spoke about this yesterday or a few days ago with the books of the month. I have to say those books of the month is what checked me and checked my ego.
So you have learned lessons from the books that so you're doing personal development.
I am very much
Well,
so.
personal development is something very serious and near and dear to your growth as far as an entrepreneur. And is it just in entrepreneurship or also in your life?
In my life. It wasn't always that way. Actually, I wasn't self-developing as much until I came here. I was, but when I came here and I saw what CEO Life had on its platform as far as developing not just our minds, but it you can't help for have it to have it spill over in your personal life. I mean, you can't. So I was happy that what I learned spilled over in my personal life.
Carla, there's a whole different side of you that I didn't know. Look at that. Imagine what research does. We got some people asking some questions about Miss Carla Powell right now. We got Miss Takia Diamond. She's a serial entrepreneur, and she wants to know, Carla, how do you manage both businesses, the family business and the business needs you as well as your own personal business? It's a bit challenging at times managing multiple businesses. So her questions, how do you do it? How, how does that work in your brain working multiple businesses?
You know what? We've had the HVAC business for a long time, and that's the only business that we had. So the life insurance industry came in after the fact, and so it was easy to transition into that and pull that into the HVAC business. Now it's not always easy because it's two completely different entities, as you know. I have to, as I said, my husband is the one who does the labor, everything outside. He pretty much handles the clients, and I do the inside work. And so I would say he takes a lot of the pressure off of me because he handles not just the labor out there. He do handle the clients as well. And all I have to do, and it seems like it's simple, but I still have to manage the money, not just our personal money, but the business money. And life insurance, what I'm doing right now, it helps actually. It shows me how to better handle the money that I already have. So it's not always easy, but you have to know how to juggle it. You have to, and
Prioritize.
not
Prioritize.
just prioritize, but I believe you do have to know what you're doing. You have to know, and then you have to love what you do too. If you don't like what you do or love what you do, it wouldn't it shows.
Mm. Okay, we got Mr. Kirkendog.
Harold.
Mr. Kirkendog is saying, what mindset shift allowed you to think beyond just personal success?
What mindset shift? Repeat it again, Leo. I'm sorry.
What mindset shift allowed you to think beyond just personal success?
Uh, Confidence, I guess. I don't know if that makes sense. Um,
Elaborate.
Elaborate. What mindset shift? I don't know. For people who know me, would know that I am someone who do not like being in the limelight, who do not like to be the center of attention. I'd rather be a director than an actor in front of the camera. And I would say, for that's a shift that I had to change and to master, because everybody tells me you should be up front, you should be this and that and the other, and I believe that the people who I look up to and the people who mentor me, I truly believe what they're saying. So I would say that's it. My confidence to do uncomfortable things. I've been doing uncomfortable things for the last 6 months to a year. And I love it. I could say that
So
now.
being uncomfortable has actually helped you
Yes,
develop. So
so
that's your
much.
mindset shift right there. You look forward to being uncomfortable.
I do. And I told coach that one time. I said, I said, everything you told me to do, I do. And now it's like, it's
So let me ask you a question. Is being on this show, was this an uncomfortable decision?
Yes, it was, because today, I found out yesterday, and today you did not call me at all today to tell me anything, and I'm like, okay, look at the time, it's 3 o'clock, Leo, what you doing? You're not even calling me or anything, but I had to really decide that, what, this is part of your growth. This is part of my growth. I truly believe that every uncomfortable thing I did and I will be doing will get me to that level that I want to get to.
Ooh, okay, well said. Unrehearsed, right from the heart. I love it, Miss Carla Powell. We got a follow-up question from Marvin's question. What humbled you to the core and it almost broke you? So what have you gone through that's humbled you all the way down that made you say, ugh, if I would have not gotten humbled, this would have broke me? That's a good
I
question there.
I had to look at certain things from different perspectives. That's what I think humbled me. I had to look at, not when I got into this industry. Um, I didn't know anything. I was green, not in the color green, but green meaning I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything about life insurance. And when I got here, not that I, yes, I would say I was not coachable. Everybody says they're coachable. I wasn't coachable. So I had to shed that uncoachability in order for me to put on a cloak of a cloak that would allow me not just to be myself, but to transform into who I am today.
Interesting. Now that we got some of those cleared up, since they're all over the place, they're just talking all way. Carla, you don't started, son. I got a question for you, man. I mean, young lady, I got a real question for you here. What happens in your marriage when one person dreams gets starts getting bigger? For example, you started getting into this business, right? You were tiptoeing, like you said, you got into it, but then, you just wanted to make a few extra bucks. Now you're going after titles. How does your husband feel about that? Let's ask about the elephant in the room. Now we're going for something bigger. It's like, whoa, hey, hold on, what happened? We're taking first class trip somewhere. What? That wasn't. It was just about a few extra bucks. Now you're going for the big kahunas. What happens in your marriage with that?
I have to say, guys, I have the most supportive husband. If I did not, it would have been harder for me to, I probably wouldn't even be in this industry. He supports me 110%. He's my sounding board. If something is going on, he's who I talk to. He gives me advice. So I would say having a supportive significant other, even though I'm not saying that his dream is financial industry. It's not, of course, because he's still in the HVAC and that's what he's doing. But he realizes my dream and what I want to do, and what I'm doing is not also benefiting us as a family. It's actually benefiting him as a husband because he's seeing me as a wife transform and change and for the better.
Mm, mm, that's a good one. Let's see what Takia has to say. She says, sometimes you can always be a pusher of others, but no one really stays on you. I need that, although a lot of people think I don't, but I do. She wants to make sure people know I do. I just kind of did away with expectations of others holding me up and appreciate those who do. I feel you, Takia. I feel you. But a support system is necessary. You just
Mhm.
gotta lean on to those that are really looking to push you. That's all you have to do is lean on them. They'll push you. The thing is, do you want to be pushed? See, sometimes we pull away when we should actually get closer so we could get pushed. That's a good one. And she also said, yes, hubby. Where's hubby now? We should bring him onto the
No,
screen.
he's not. He's on the other side of the house.
All right. I got, let's see, any other questions before I go into the, oh, wait, uh-oh. What if your spouse doesn't understand your dream? Oh, I need to hear this from a woman's perspective. Let me get my cup.
Uh, I'll have 5 words for you. I will make him understand.
Uh, should I dare say elaborate? Because that was I will make him understand. She knew that answer is something she must have had in her pocket for a long
No, I
time.
didn't.
I will make him understand. Like she knew exactly how many words she was going to use.
Guys, listen. You have to have dreams, and I really believe without a dream, what would your future look like, right? And my husband, he knows dreams are things that each one of us should have in our in our minds, in our lives, in order to something to strive for. So if he did not support my dream, I can't even fathom that, to tell you the truth. I'm stumbling with my words because I don't even know how to answer that, because he's always been supportive. But I would just say, you know, eventually I'll do whatever it takes so that he will support my dream. And if he didn't, then I don't know, maybe I'll find someone who will support my dream.
I don't. Hey, we'll edit that. We will edit that because he'll come after me for asking a question that didn't even come out of my mind. That is not good. Let's edit that.
And he's
Bring
very
it back from
supportive.
rewind. What do you do? I like the first part of your answer.
Okay. No, but my husband is very supportive. He knows.
Yeah, we
I
know
get
that.
around.
We know that. It's all fun and games. We do know that he supports you 100%. He's never given you any backlash. So you really wouldn't know how to answer that question. You can't speak from a place you have never experienced.
Right.
So I commend you. What about your children? Do they support what you do? Because children
Yeah.
sometimes get in the way as well.
Oh, they support what I do. When I did my first ribbon cutting, most everybody on there were their friends. And that's when I got to SFA and SM, like 1, 2, 3. The second one, they had a lot of friends, and I'm currently writing policies, and the first three that I'm currently doing are their friends. So they are very, very supportive. I'm blessed
Oh,
in that aspect.
look at that. She's a blessed woman. This is my last question. Then we're going to bring it on to everybody else if they still got more. Here's my last question. 10 years from now, when
Mm.
you're 70, I'm just joking.
So
10 years from now, what has to be true for you to say you have won?
I would say that everything that I am working towards to my husband and I would say to working towards to help our family, and that we see everything that comes to fruition. That is what I would say that we have won. When everything that we're striving for, all the sacrifices we've made, everything that we're working together to get to that point, when not just family, but everyone who supported us along the way. I don't know. It's I don't even know if I'm answering the question correctly, but uh, as long as my family is good, I will. You know what? I'm going to take a page off of Coach Mark's answer, because he always says things like, and I truly believe it too, that if down the road, that if someone, whether it's my grandchild, friend, or somebody, or my great grandson, daughter, they said, or a stranger would come up and say, your mom helped me. And Coach Mark, I hope you're listening. Your mom helped me, with a plan, put a plan in place for me, that that I was able to go to college, and I cured Alzheimer's, let's say, because I went to college, because your mom, put a plan in or for me, and I accumulated the cash that I needed in order to get to college and to get to the different classes, universities, in order to I've become a scientist, and now I cured Alzheimer's, because I don't believe Alzheimer's is has a cure. I don't believe. I know cancer doesn't, but I don't know. So
Okay, I like that. You want to make sure you made an impact.
I want to make an impact. Yes, I want people to remember me.
Coach is watching and he loves your answer.
He does?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
It's right
That's
there.
what I want.
You got two more questions. I got a
Okay.
closer after this one.
Okay.
Have your children ever been inquisitive about the business?
Yes, they have been. But they're putting um, time limits on it. When I'm finished this, and when I do this, and and I keep telling them, time, let me tell you guys, if you don't know, time doesn't wait for anyone. You better know time does not wait for anyone, and you can't buy it back. Once it's gone, it's gone.
Hmm.
So for them, they are inquisitive. Even I think Coach had challenged my daughter to pass the test, and you would give her something really good, and she never followed through. And I don't know. I think he did the same with my son, and neither one of them followed through. I don't know. They prefer to work harder than smarter, I would
Hey,
say.
some people got to
Yeah,
learn different ways. You
exactly.
know, you gotta accept that. I,
Yeah.
I want to close with this one, Carla, and I'm even bringing down the tempo because somewhere, at some point, someone might either get this episode forwarded to them, they might trip over it. Somewhere, there's a woman watching us right now, and she knows that she is capable, probably more capable than anyone gives her credit for. She spent years supporting somebody else's dream, whether it could be her husband, her kids, her employers, her family. Everybody knows they can lean on her, so they do. All right. I want you to think about that. But something inside of her, there's something that's building up, and she is scared to step out and do something like what you did. you're the vice president, but it was a dream that you and your husband put together that supported your household. You lived off of it, and then you just said, "I want to do this." It's not like you just had a conversation with your husband. The conversation came after the action. Some people don't have that in them.
Yeah.
What could you say to that woman
Hmm.
that would push her in either direction?
I would say to her, learn the facts. Learn the facts. Understand your reason for wanting to be in this business, for wanting not just this business, but whatever she aspiring to do, and to be willing, if it's this business or any other business, be willing to be mentored and coached, because you don't need to know everything on your first day when you are deciding to do something outside of the norm of yourself. You need to learn. You need to take action and um, accept correction and improve. Right? I would. That's what I would say. If she would just stay focused on serving people, be a servant. That's the number one thing I would say. And developing herself, the business can help her grow in ways that go beyond just income. That's what I would say.
So you would tell her to take the shot.
Take it, baby. Just take it.
Ooh, what if she feels that she's gonna risk it all? What if she feels that all those people that are around her that lean on her, love her, supposedly, let's say, as a husband, is not with it? Not everybody has the luck that you have of a supportive husband. And nonetheless, a supportive husband that's gonna allow or wants their woman to be a breadwinner per se.
Mhm.
What what then? Do you still do you still tell her take the shot?
I would. I would tell anybody, if they have a dream, never give up on your dream. And in spite of what's going on, we have to dig deep inside of ourselves in order to accomplish what we would like to accomplish. And it would be great if you have family members and friends that would support you. Not everybody has that luxury, but I would definitely tell her, do not give up on your dream.
There's no better way that I could have said that. I'm so happy. It's been an honor that you were here. Thank you, Carla, for having some laughs. Thank you for going
I
through the
had
nerves.
fun.
Thank you for answering all the questions. Hopefully, the guests didn't mistreat you too much with their questions.
Yeah.
Um, it's been, I can't say anything other than you did great. I love your answers. You started a whole debate. Can't wait to join in when we log off. This is my closing message for everybody out there. Entrepreneurs, I want you to really hear me on this. Really, really hear me on this. Some of you are sitting on a dream right now because of your life. You're just sitting on your dream and you feel that your life is already good. Look at Carla. She was good, right? Something inside her woke her up and made her wanted to do something else. I wouldn't say bigger or better, just something else.
Mhm.
The bills are paid. So you got it good. The bills were paid, the family's okay. Hey, the career you already have might even just be working. It works perfect. The business you have works perfect. I would tell you this. We have one life. I've been told that this is a vacation. If you have a burning desire inside of you, a dream, to having something that's yours, that you can call your own, that you could build from the ground up, even though you already have something good and you want to do it, like Carla said, just do it, baby. Just do it. So stop asking yourself if you should. Just voluntarily get yourself uncomfortable and watch yourself grow.
And be
Carla,
grateful for the opportunity. That's what I say.
there you go. Be grateful for the opportunity. Carla, it's been an honor to have you here. Guys,
Thank you,
you can
guys.
be
Thank you,
anywhere in the
Leo.
world. You spend it with myself and Miss Carla Powell here. A shameless plug somewhere people can find you, they can see you. Let them know.
My company is Serenity Financial Solutions, but I am proud to be part of CEO Life. And I am on Facebook. I am also on Instagram. And I do book reviews. You guys search me on, and I can't remember right now, but you can search me up on YouTube. You'll see all of my book reviews there.
There you go. Serenity Financial Solutions. Guys, it's been an honor, a pleasure, and a privilege because you could have been anywhere in the world, but you were here with us today. And I thank you.
Thank you. Bye, guys. How was it?